On this week's episode of The Riff, Drew and Martz continue the talk about 5 habits. This one involves arrows. We hope today is helpful. Thanks for listening.
You know, sometimes I'm not for sure that I'm recording.
But we are.
Welcome to The Riff.
The Riff.
You should get that trademarked.
Trademark The Riff, or the way I say The Riff?
The way you say it.
The Riff.
Yeah, absolutely. No one else should be able to do it. Or
No.
they need to pay you money every time they do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what's a common example.
I'm worried that I might say it and then I'll owe you money.
You know, it could happen.
You can write it off on your taxes.
I will.
You know, it can be a whole, you know.
Yeah.
You can, give it back to me. You know, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How's your cookie?
Oh, yeah. We are eating a cookie right now. I don't know if you could tell that. My voice gets very gunky if I eat cookies, but I'm doing it anyway.
Let's go.
I'm committing to the bit. I'm going to get very girly.
Gross.
Girly.
That is a gross.
Yeah. My wife mentions all the time how I'm kind of loud when I very eat. So
Are you a loud eater?
Something I'm working on.
Well, I'm not sure how good these mics are, but I'm chewing a cookie right now.
So we're just going to blame you if we think that it's me. Also, I kind of hurt my back. Hold on.
Unicycle accident?
No.
Basketball?
Basketball.
You're getting too old for that, man.
And to be honest, nothing even happened. I just didn't stretch before I played.
Getting old.
Dang it.
You playing with some young kids?
No, everyone's older than me pretty much. Well, there are some young ones. Yeah.
Is it North Pointers you're playing with?
There are a couple.
Are you at the DC?
No, this is at Dan Kinney, 6 a.m. Come on out.
Dan Kinney. Is it open gym?
Open. Yeah. Come on out. I mean, you could like get a one-day pass.
What if
Come
you're
on
not
out.
good at basketball?
Well, I'm not that good. Oh, what if somebody else is?
Yeah, someone's listening. They're like, I've never played, but Pastor Martz said to come play with him.
First off, if you said that you never played, I'd be like, this probably isn't the right time to learn. Okay, maybe you need to learn at home. Maybe you need to go to the Y. I don't know how I don't know about the runs at the Y. I don't know if they're intense or not. This is a place where it's like, hey, I've played before. Maybe you played in high school. Maybe you played intramurally. Is that the word? Intramurally in college.
Yeah.
This is the spot. If you were like, hey, I played D1, not the spot. You're too good.
I see that.
There's a healthy medium.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I can dunk pretty consistently over people, I'd be like, this might not be the spot.
Hey, but fun fact, can you still dunk a basketball?
You know what? And I've been testing that theory. Yes, kind of an asterisk next to that. I can get there. I have to be wearing a certain kind of shoes, my basketball shoes. And I got special insoles in them to help me jump a little bit higher. I do take this way too seriously. I have been.
If I could dunk a basketball, I would wear whatever insoles or shoes I needed to.
Okay, thank you. Some people would call that cheating. I feel like no, that's like wearing cleats when you play ball. Like
Right.
a
trampoline would be cheating.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What kind of shoes? Let's product placement. What are the shoes and what are the insoles?
Well, the shoes are just basketball shoes, but for some reason, I feel like I've got better oomph. But within them are these insoles, Victory insoles, I think.
Product placement.
They help you like bounce up. Now
we'll put a link to the insoles in the show notes.
The insoles were a little bit more expensive than Dr. Scholl's.
Martz is going to make $1 for every pair of insoles we sell.
Use code John.
Use code John Martz for Victory insoles.
Honestly, no discount. Okay, it's going to be
If you've
the
never
same
played
price.
basketball, you'll be able to dunk a basketball.
Okay, stop. We are talking about something today. How long have we riffed? That's 4
too long.
minutes. I don't know how too long.
We're talking about arrows out.
I could go longer.
Oh, we could keep reefing.
I can talk about my back some more.
Yeah.
No one else wants to hear it.
My bones hurt.
Okay. Well, by the way, we were talking about this earlier. How did we come up with the name The Riff?
It was a contest, apparently.
It was a contest within the staff, and I want to say, and I may be wrong on this, I want to say Jared Davis is the one who got the right name. Maybe not. Maybe it was just somebody in Republic that said The Riff, and it was like, yep, that's what we're doing.
That's it.
Wow.
Well, magic strikes.
All right, we are talking about something today.
Hey, we're doing 5 habits. Last week we talked about daily integration of Scripture. Habit we're going to talk about today is arrows out. Arrows out. So again, we talk about 5 habits for every North Pointer. The idea there is if you get these disciplines in your life and just create some habitual rhythms, you will grow spiritually in your walk towards God. So our goal as a church is help you move closer and closer and take steps towards Jesus and knowing God and living a godly life and knowing Him. And so as you move towards Him and grow your spiritual man, your spiritual woman, your spiritual part of your life, There are habits that help, and the parallel is physical, right? If you are trying to get abs, if you're trying to build muscles, trying to lose weight, there's just 5 habits. Eating cookies on a Monday afternoon, probably not helpful in that.
Yeah. And even with that, it's not like, hey, I can do 5 push-ups and now I can lift this heavy thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, these are going to take time for you to develop. So even if they feel clunky at first, they feel weird, you're like, hey, this doesn't feel like me. They are rhythms that it's like, hey, as you do them, you gain confidence in them. Yep. And they actually become a pretty helpful part of your life, but you may not experiencing that like right away.
Yeah, no one feels like they've got bigger muscles from yesterday to today. Or if you lose a pound and it takes a week, every day you don't notice it. It's over time you look back and be like, oh, I lost 10 pounds in the last year. And it's like, hey, it's over time with consistency, you start to see changes in your life. And so 5 Habits is about helping you become more Christ-like as you go. This process of sanctification, we would call it theologically, but you're being formed into his image. And so 5 Habits is what it's about. We're talking about arrows out today. Arrows out. When I was new to North Point, I did not know what arrows out meant.
Yeah, so what did you think it meant?
I didn't know. I mean, I assumed it was like something like towards others, but I assume there's a genesis of that exact phrase. I feel like I understand what it means now. But what's the genesis of arrows out? Where did it come from? Take me back in time.
That's a great question, which we've used lots of different terms for this. I think give back is a normal phrase that maybe you've heard, which I find, that's unique. Because I'm like, giving back, or you could just give. Like giving back is kind of a weird thing. Like there's always going to be something unique about the phrase that you use. But arrows out really encompasses a lot of different things. And when it comes to like vision in your life, pointing, like you're pointing your arrows somewhere, you're looking at something, you're focused on something, we want your focus to be out. So not on you. And it's very easy for you to be the center of your attention. Mm-hmm. I've been through several situations, especially when I'm uncomfortable, when things in my life get heavy, when I feel like I mess up, it's very easy for my arrows to be on me. And I think about me and I ruminate on me. And we're saying, hey, a healthy habit, a healthy rhythm in your life is to have those arrows pointed out toward others. And a lot of times that gets attributed to generosity, which is a huge part of arrows out. Each year we have an arrows out gift where we say, hey, everything that comes in the buckets is going outside these 4 walls to community partners or to our give back events or to the Dream Center or to there's these initiatives within our community, our local communities, Republic, Nixa, Springfield, Dream Center, that this generosity would go to. And so it's easy to attribute it to generosity, but there's so many different facets of moving your arrows off you onto others, where you see others, that makes a pretty big impact in your life.
Yeah. I think it's a arrows out idea of it's actually, you ever heard this is a weird phrase. My dad used to say it. Navel.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Navel gazing.
No. What? Are you looking up someone's nose?
No, navel. Like looking at your.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at your own belly button.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought nasal.
Yeah. It's but he would just be like, you're navel gazing, which has just been like you're sitting there with your eyes on your own belly button, just like.
Okay, my second thought was a military term.
Yeah. Just looking starboard side up a naval vessel. No, he'd be like, you're navel gazing, which is like kind of a weird phrase, but it's like, hey, you're just staring at yourself. You're standing on your own belly button. And the idea of when you get too introspective and make it all about you, that's the idea of you're actually, arrows out. We talk, our give back things would go through that. So when we do back to school drives, when we do drives for collections, right now we're doing a diaper drive for Dream Center. Like that is an arrows out thing saying, hey, I'm going to take what I have and give to someone else. And so that's a habit that's not just about community service or doing good things for other people. Arrows out, when you begin to put rhythms in your life where you're intentionally giving, you're intentionally laying down self for the good of others in some way. And whether that's formally through a church thing, like giving to the church or serving or giving up certain things, or it's outside where it's like, hey, and we almost prefer, obviously we need help to make the church happen, but arrows out is like, what are you doing to be involved in the community? What are you doing to help someone in and around town that can't help themselves? And then you create a habit of generosity and giving in your life that's not tied to church programs. per se, but it's just tied to like an attitude and mentality that says I'm actually going to do things for other people and have an eye out for others. So I think that's helpful. I think for me, one thing, and I noticed you stopped eating your cookie.
Yeah, I put that down. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, the gurgle.
Yeah, I'm going to finish that after. I'm going to probably one bite that too.
One thing, arrows out for me, like for me, it's even like I'm coaching my son's flag football team. To me, that's an arrows out thing because I'm like giving, and it's a simple thing and it's a fun thing, but it is like, hey, I'm actually giving my time to actually invest in these kids. And so, I'm not getting paid to do it. It's not my job. Someone else could do it. But to me, it gives me a bridge into some kids' lives, and I get an opportunity to have conversations with kids I wouldn't normally have, whether it's practices or games and building relationships with some of these kids. To me, it's a giving thing. I've talked, when I'm out there on Friday nights, I see Will Maxwell, who's a North Pointer. He's coaching teams. I see Caleb Thomas. He's coaching teams. And those are simple things, but I get pumped when I see North Pointers out in the community doing things to create influence in and around the Springfield area, Springfield, Nixa, Republic, where we're making a difference because we're actually like giving up of our time and effort and energy in some way to help others. So whether it's through a formal give back event that North Point is doing, whether that's you volunteering at Cross Lines or one of our other community partners, all those things are arrows out to me. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think it can be arrows out with your time. It can be arrows out with your gift, right? Whether that's financial or your gifts, your talents.
Yeah.
We talk often too about arrows out in your language. It is natural to point your arrows in when you're speaking. It's natural. So we'll do a couple things in service where here's what we'll try to avoid is anytime we would say, hey, I hope you enjoyed this awesome service. It'd be like, well, that's like a, hey, look how awesome we are. Yeah. Verse, hey, I hope this service was helpful for you on your faith journey.
Yeah.
That is called arrows out. Join us in this service. That'd be called arrows in. We'd love to join you for this service.
Yeah.
Like that's arrows out. Anytime, right? And you've got kind of a whole bit on like, hey, I don't want to be the pastor that's this, like everything's rises and falls on me. It's built on me. It's my, look at me. You're like, no. The gold is in the seats. It's not on the stage.
Yes.
Now I can highlight the gold in the seats from the stage.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of it. We're not saying we need to eliminate it. What we're saying, though, is make sure that our arrows are pointed out every time we communicate because it's not about us. And it's natural to talk that way. It's natural to join me. It's natural to be like, even in our prayer after worship, it'd be natural for us to be like, God, I just pray for Drew. I pray that he'd give an awesome message. I pray that blah, 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 which I hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope that happens. At the same time, what's more powerful is saying, God, I pray that these lyrics are an anthem for somebody's week that they can lean on, that helps them remind them of what's important in their life, of the words and the truth that you bring through Scripture, that you've put through song. Like that's a completely different narrative than I hope Drew does good today, right?
Yeah.
And I am kind of making fun, but at the same time, you can see how natural it is for the arrows to be pointed in, and it does communicate something, even if you can't quite put your finger on why it's communicating something.
Yeah.
Maybe you grabbed coffee with somebody the other day that was very arrows in.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, that drained me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe you were very arrows in at your last coffee meeting.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. We'll do it. Like I have those conversations with people where I always just like asking open-ended questions to get people talking, but you ever walk out of a conversation with someone or you met somebody and you talk to them for maybe 15 minutes and you know everything about them,
Yep.
but they don't know a thing about you. It's like,
sometimes I prefer that.
yeah, honestly, I do. Like if I do that to people intentionally. Tell me more about that. What do you like? I just ask open-ended questions about whatever they got going on in their life.
Which I am curious. Like I really actually want to know. And then too, I'm like, well, if you're not that curious about me, then I'm not that interested in telling you. So it's not like I'm mad at you. It's just like, I guess we're here to talk about you. That's okay.
Yeah. And sometimes that's not Pastor Drew saying those things. Like, you all,
totally.
People, if you go to North Point, you hear enough about me anyway, just from me talking. So like, I genuinely would rather hear about you.
You got a monologue every weekend, man.
Yeah. You don't need to hear more about me. But like, even just in my friend circles or people you just meet out in the world, it's like, hey, like, it is interesting. And I have like certain friends, some of my best friends are people who are just arrows out people. they're like, hey, what's going on with you? How are you doing? And it's like, they'll talk about how they're doing, but it's like, they're always looking at other people. And I think that's like a genuinely refreshing thing. And I do think there's an element of like your faith that grows when you become someone who's not about self. And that takes discipline. That's what we call it a habit. If you don't flex that muscle to like intentionally rewire your head and heart to be about others, you will be about self. And then all of a sudden now we're having conversations on preferences and what I like and what I don't like. And then we create a consumer-centric church where it's like, we're trying to build a great product that everyone's going to like. And it's like, that's actually kind of not the point. Certainly we want to do a good job.
Yeah. Excellence matters. But
it does. But I think that's like, I don't know. If you can get the idea that your life is not about you, like when Jesus is like, hey, pick up your cross, die to yourself and follow me, like that sounds like pretty extreme. And it is. Also, it's like, it's super rewarding to like when it's not about you and you can actually build your life about other people. And it takes little ways of doing it. So intentionally saying no to yourself to help other people, intentionally doing things and building rhythms in your life to say, I actually do this and I don't get anything out of it. It is purely to give. That's a discipline. It's a habit. You won't do it if you don't make a decision to. Everything about your world is wired to make you a navel gazer. It really is. So,
are we playing Battleship right now?
Yeah, exactly. B7. You hit my cruiser. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's like part of it is putting disciplines in your life and creating a weekly rhythm that you do something to give back. Whether that's, I think about opportunities like the Dream Center, serving there, or other places around town, like finding a way to give. And for some people, it's giving financially. Like I know there's some people in North Point that I've talked to that are like, hey, like they're just big time into helping fund the vision of the church. And they're really busy people. And they're like, they've got, things going on like, hey, I can't be there consistently, but I believe in it. I can't sign up to serve, but their life is consumed with, certain things. And they're like,
they might be arrows out in different places.
Right.
Absolutely.
But they're like, hey, I'm just going to give to this. And it's like, they're intentionally choosing to say, hey, I want to give, So for some people, it's, it's financial, it's time, it's gifting. I think about all of our, simple thing I think about on Sundays, our musicians.
Yeah.
Fun fact, they're not paid, they just give, and they're practicing midweek rehearsals. They're there Saturday night, Sunday mornings, putting hours and hours and hours into the countless hours of practice to just give their gift, to me, like that's arrows out, and yes, they're doing it for the church, but it's like, all of that. It takes a lot of giving and like not doing things about yourself to help others.
Yeah. We got the Dishmans and the Hoys. So they are Beckham's, and they coach basketball and baseball and football. And dude, it is like, one, they're serving in Kid Point on Sundays. They're totally invested in so many different things. But I look at their life and I'm like, they live such an arrows out life. I do think being a coach, there's a lot of that too.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things of just like having another voice in a kid's life is giant. Like those are things where as a parent, I'm like, thank you that someone is doing that. I feel that way in Kid Point too. I'm like, thank you that someone is speaking into my kid. There are so many ways to be arrows out. And is it possible to go to the extreme here and to be two arrows out? Like, even when we talk about the last habit, which was daily integration of Scripture, it's like it's possible to read the Bible and still not know God. Is it possible to be so arrows out that you actually you never address some wounds within you?
Yeah, for sure. I think it can be almost a deflection sometimes, where it's like, hey, I'm just gonna do all these things.
I'm just being arrows out.
I'm be so busy I don't address my actual chronic internal problems, or it's like I'm doing it to be seen by others.
Very true.
We've all done that. You do a good deed and the first, what? Oh, you noticed that? Where the first thing you think about is who saw me do that? I've had some gross moments where I'm just like, oh, I totally just did that thing. And the first thing I thought was, I hope someone noticed that so they think highly of me. You can do kind things for like weird motives. There's a book by a guy named Bob Mumford called The Agape Road. And he talks about, he talks about a lot of things, but like he talks about like hidden agendas and like this idea of love with a hook in it. And it's like, I'm doing something for you, but there's a hook in it that actually comes back at me.
Yeah.
And it's so like I'm doing something that on the surface is for you, but underneath that I've got a hidden agenda. I've got motives. I want people to think more highly of me, so I'm being very public about the way I'm doing something, And it's like you can begin to do outward facing things for some really jacked up motives that are genuinely you want something in return. I think arrows out, like the ideal state that we would get to. We're all human. We do that. But for God to work the hook out of our arrow to be like, I actually don't want anything in return. I really just want to be a blessing to somebody else because that's why I want to do it. So I think about all the ways that's done quietly, where no one sees it, where people are just, I think about in the giving thing, there's a lot of just super low key, generous people around. They're like, I want to make sure nobody knows I did this.
Absolutely.
Or they serve in ways that are just behind the scenes. They're like, I do not want to be seen. Don't want to be known for this. I just want to do it, So I think there's like figuring out, like for me, there's been times I've for sure done arrows out things on the hopes that someone noticed me doing it, or the hopes that, well, God's going to reward me for doing that. God probably will, but that shouldn't be why we do it. Like, over time, you build the discipline in you to where it's just like, man, I want to be a blessing to people because that's what I want to do.
Yes. And I would say, even if it starts with selfish motives, I'd be like, okay, do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I do think over time, some of those things can get worked out. So I don't know if it's just like, well, I'm not going to give because I just, I feel like my chest would be too puffed up if I did. I'm like, no, you can still give. Okay. Yeah. At the same time, like, let God work on those things in your life.
Yeah.
And I believe he will. Right. But, it is funny. And there is an extreme here. The opposite of unhealthy is unhealthy. There's times where you're so busy that, throughout the course of a year, you weren't able to serve anywhere. And that's where I'd say, hey, you nailed it. You're too busy. Okay. Like there's that. And then there's also the other side. That's the like, no, I won't do it because I choose not to because I don't believe in it. I'm like, you can go on any kind of extreme, but there's a beautiful part that like arrows out kind of begins to center you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I begin to see a need and I meet that need.
Yeah.
And I see a need and I meet that need. And you begin to see people. It's very easy to go throughout your life and just see you and just see the job or the task that needs to be completed, and you miss the person that's in that. There have been so many seasons of my life where arrows out was so much more than financially giving, where financially giving was actually the one thing I was arrows out in.
Yeah.
And it was something that, I'm just like, well, that's my rhythm and that's what I'm used to. But I was missing so many people around me. I believe for others, it might be vice versa, right? Where you're like, no, I see people around me, but like my finances are kind of mine. It is this like relinquishing control slowly but surely of all these things that I'm like, well, that's me.
Yeah.
And you said, what did scripture say? Die to yourself, pick up your cross.
Yeah.
Follow him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, there's radical freedom when it's actually not about you. I've said it before, but it's like when this really starts to get in you, it's like, man, it's actually not about me. That's actually a freeing thing.
Yes.
It's not a heavy weight to carry. Like when Jesus says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. In some ways it's challenging, but otherwise what he's talking about, I think, there's probably someone smarter than me to argue with it, but I'm like, it's because there's a radical simplicity when you're not trying to build your kingdom and make it about you. You're like, hey, I'm just going to do what he does. And I think for me, like, if you've ever had a moment where you said something for someone else, you did something for someone else, in that moment, you actually were Jesus to that person, where it's like, God actually used my open hands to bless somebody else. He used my open calendar to bless someone else. He used my open availability to be a blessing. And like you had that moment where God used what you said, what you did to be a blessing to someone else. There's no more fulfilling thing than that. And that could be a very simple thing, whether it's opening a door for someone or reaching something for somebody else or doing the thing that like someone else couldn't do, but that you had the availability, time, capacity to do something for someone else. It ends up being a radically fulfilling thing of like, man, actually I just partnered with God to bless somebody because again, my arrows were by default pointed out that like I have open hands towards people. And then God will partner with that open hand and help you be a blessing to someone. Those moments when you get back in the car, driving home, you're like, wow, I think God just touched that person and I got to partner with him by doing it because I had the default point of view that said I was looking in the first place to be helpful to somebody is extremely fulfilling.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's the do it anyway kind of approach where, you may be so consumed with getting, and the antidote to dethroning getting in your life is giving.
It is. Yeah.
It's I'm so busy, and dethroning that busyness in your life is giving people or God your margin. Like that you like, hey, I'm actually carving out margin so you have that, because that's the greatest gift I can give right now. It's dethroning some of those things that have become God in your life, and Arrows Out is a way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well said.
I think we're good. We're done. Wrap it up.
We're done.
I like it.
Yeah.
Should we go get Justin? Should we bring him on?
I'm trying to. Can't find the guy. We're on a side mission to get Justin back on the riff.
You know what? We did try to bring him on this episode. And so we sat down, we got him out of the room. We looked for him. We tried to see if his Jeep was here. He drives a Jeep. Did you guys know that? And he wasn't here.
He's not here.
He had left. But that is when we got cookies.
Yes, we're on an adventure.
Any final thoughts on Arrows Out? I know, like I said, each year, we've got several Arrows Out opportunities. And by the way, we never need someone to serve at the Dream Center, but we got opportunities for it. We never need you to give your finances to North Point, but we have opportunities that, and we hope to be the best steward of some of those opportunities come our way. But when it comes to Arrows Out, I'd be thinking through, we're always going to be chucking opportunities your way to grab hold of that mission, so that it's not just like, hey, can you go figure that out? Like, we feel the same way about Scripture. It's like, hey, we're going to give you a dose of Scripture every single week. We just hope that you can take that and utilize that daily. Or dig on your own daily. Same thing for Arrows Out. There's probably several things that you're a part of, and we're not saying you got to be a part of ours.
Correct.
But we are saying that if that is not a natural rhythm in your life, and you aren't tied in anywhere, and you're like, where do I even start? SpringfieldDreamCenter.com, great place to start. You can see some of the opportunities that are going on. Even at the top right now, you can hit that little link that says donate to the diaper drive, and it'll take you to an Amazon link, and you can ship it right to the Dream Center. Like we are constantly going to throw opportunities, not as we need you to pull through, just as we're always going to be resourcing you on something that we feel like is going to keep transforming your heart.
We think it's good for you to do it.
Yeah.
It's good for you. You will grow by doing those things. And again, whether it's an official North Point or Dream Center thing or not, that's not the point. We'll have opportunities, but create this mentality in yourself, and it will serve you well for life.
Riff Raff, we love you. I'm going to eat this cookie, but be Arrows Out this week.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Riff. We'll have a brand new episode every week, wherever you find podcasts.